shall request of the War Department upon your graduation next week that all of you be assigned to the most dangerous branch of the United States Army.
Iron rails to Kansas, iron nerves from there on, as you head for the Santa Fe Trail where nothing grows but trouble. Across the years they roll, the fighting heroes who made America great, the men who'll make America thrill. Errol Flynn as Captain Jeb Stuart, Raymond Massey as the infamous John Brown, Ronald Reagan, the Gipper of Notre Dame, as gallant George Custer. History springs to flaming life as they carve a path through the wilderness. Robert E. Lee, Sheridan, Longstreet, Pickett, Hood, Tex Bell, and Windy Brody, the famous Prairie Scouts. And the match for them all, lovely Olivia de Havilland.
Are you in love with him and not with me?
I guess I am, George.
Oh, wait a minute. I can handle this proposal from now on. Thanks, son.
There you are. Put your hands up and keep them up. I advise you to make no move towards your guns.
One more murder won't mark you any deeper than you are now, Mr. Brown.
I intend to be a marked man.
Forward and a gallop! Ho!
The Daltons, the most dreaded name in the West, rings again. Outlaws, the Dalton gang, terrorized half a nation in the most daring hold-ups in history. When the Daltons Road comes to the screen as a masterful spectacle of a violent era, Randolph Scott, Kay Francis, Brian Dunleavy, George Bancourt, Broderick Crawford, Andy Devine, Stuart Irwin, and Frank Albertson.
Sheriff, arrest that man. He's the deputy marshal.
Don't let that stop you, Sheriff. I'm fed up with the law around here. This court can accept my resignation right now.
Now, wait a minute, Bob. No. You get away from me. Let go. Look out. He's liable to go off. You know, Nancy, it's the law. Nancy, don't you do anything. You'll be sorry for it.
I won't. But if you don't get away from there, you baby-faced prairie dog, I'll shoot you right through that fella's vest.
No.
The West, in the decisive days of the Civil War, when Southern sympathizers in Virginia City secretly raised a fortune in gold to turn rebel defeat into victory. But for those selected to transport this treasure, a desperate adventure lay ahead, a perilous journey across 1,200 miles of wilderness, through enemy lines, and into bandit-infested territory, ever shadowed, ever pursued by a man commissioned by the North to stop this caravan at any cost.
There can't be any deal between us.
You Yanks always did drive a hard bargain. This time I've an idea we're going to trade on my terms.
What are you driving at?
Don't move your hands and turn slowly.
From the moment of their first meeting comes the story of fearless men pitted against each other, with the fate of a nation at stake. It's Errol Flynn as Captain Bradford, Randolph Scott, Humphrey Bogart, and Miriam Hopkins as Julie, fiery dance hall queen of Virginia City.
See, if you told me everything at first,
No matter how much a man's in love, he really wonders whether the woman's quite good enough for him or not. But when a woman's in love, well, she's just in love. That's the end of it.
All right, you men, come on out. That tunnel wasn't a bad idea. Only no matter where you come up, you'll find a few bandits waiting for you. That's all.
No. That's not quite all, Captain. And believe me, if ever the opportunity arises, I'll repay you for every foot of this tunnel.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Ever read this book? A lot of people have, and they found it was one of the most vivid, powerful stories they'd ever come across. The book reviewers thought so too. Top-notch ones like Clifton Fadiman, the expert stumper on Information Please, and a noted critic. He sort of summed up the way I feel about this story when he said, "I think it's sort of what you might call a masterpiece." I couldn't put the book down till I'd finished it. And right then I knew more than anything that I wanted to play in a picture made from this story. Well, I was lucky enough to do so. And while it's not ethical for an actor to talk about a picture he's in public that is, I'm going to do it anyway. The Oxbow Incident is the thrilling, dramatic story of the Old West and its fabulous characters as they really were.
Down in Texas, where I come from, we just go out and get a man and string him up.
That's right. I say stretch him. Tain't just a rustler we're after. It's a murderer.
If you got any doubts, Tedley, I say let's call off this party. Take it back to Judge like Davies wants.
This is only slightly any of your business, my friend. Remember that?
Hanging's any man's business that's around. That's just a brief idea of what you'll find in the Oxbow Incident. We at the studio think it's one of the most daring and unusual pictures ever made. Jammed with emotional and dramatic impact from the start to the amazing climax. When you see it, we believe you'll agree.
Get 100 gunfighters, head for San Antonio. Get your men and get into San Antonio. San Antonio in 1870, gateway of the West. A lusty, brawling border town running wide open to the throngs of adventurers, pioneers, gamblers, lured from Dodge City and Virginia City by the walking gold of this new El Dorado. Site of the historic Alamo where Texas was born. The notorious Bella Union, hot spot of the frontier, where fortunes were squandered for a kiss and the gunfight decided the fate of the state. Here, the great Texas breakup of '77 began, when lawless hordes ravaged the range, plundering, driving the embattled ranchers into exile in Mexico.
Why, you look a little surprised to see me.
I've handled you before. Remember?
That's why I've come back.
Some Sunday morning is going to be some Sunday morning for someone and me.
No, inside is not. You must quick stay out. Oh, shut up. Shut up.
Dave, please.
Well, we sure want to thank you, Mr.
Earp. Wyatt Earp.
What? You're not by any chance the marshal from Dodge City?
Ex-marshal. What are you doing up here?
None of your business.
Why don't you behave yourself? Go on, get out. Go on back where you belong.
I'm not leaving till she gets out of town.
The first kiss is always the sweetest. From under a broad sombrero.
Told you to get out of town and stay out. We're through talking, Marshal. My advice to you is start carrying your gun.
That's good advice.
Here's mighty entertainment that combines the exciting action of reckless pioneer days, the romantic conflicts of men and women who led perilous lives, the lusty humor of those who dared America's frontiers, and the breathtaking beauty of scenes filmed in the magnificence of the great Southwest.
Canyon Passage brings you a magnificent cast, starring Dana Andrews as Logan, Brian Donlevy as Camrose, Susan Hayward as Lucy, and introducing Patricia Rock as Caroline, with Hoagie Carmichael as Lynette, Ward Bond as Honey Bragg, Andy Devine as Ben Dance, in the lusty spectacle of a nation in the making, filmed amid the scenic grandeur of the Pacific Northwest.
It's all right, Logan. I'll get you in a minute.
Now we can close in, Bragg.
You think I won't?
America's past is full of hidden chapters. Stories of adventure and romance that never reached the school book.
60 pounds and sixpence for this rare gem. Smile, you little scut. Do I hear another bid?
Yes. 65.
And sixpence.
Gary Cooper as Captain Christopher Holden of the Virginia Militia, scouting the unknown as the Indian war belt passed from tribe to tribe, setting the border ablaze.
He's dead. I got the belt.
Paulette Goddard as Abby Hale, beautiful prize in the gamble for an empire of furs and forests.
You're not a man. You're a walking loaded rifle with one bloodthirsty purpose to kill God. You haven't blood in your veins, you've gunpowder.
Unconquered is a story that sweeps you through many exciting backgrounds. The lusty fun of the Peakstown Fair, the brave finery of the King's birthday ball on the edge of the wilderness, the savage ritual of Gayasuta's torture stake, the race through the rapids with Bob Fury behind and thundering disaster ahead. The death march of the famed Black Watch to relieve Fort Pitt. The battle for survival as Shawnee arrows and Seneca fireballs flame through the summer night.
Out of the glorious pages of the history of the West has come a story of such power that it stands as one of the most dramatic sensations of the year. Its amazing scenes were filmed in the most desolate, yet most fascinating locale in the world, famous Death Valley. And the passions that inflame its characters are just as primitive. 3 great and popular stars head the brilliant cast, which brings the story's arresting suspense and dynamic action to life. Gregory Peck as a renegade who trades his soul for gold and buys it back for a girl. Academy Award winner Ann Baxter as a girl who lives like a man, fights like a tigress, but responds to a kiss like a woman.
Let me go.
Boy, I thought you was enjoying it.
Richard Widmark as a sinister adventurer. When these two meet, something has to give.
Nobody's anxious to see you dead, Stretch, but we want that gold. And we want all of it. I've waited all my life to make a killing like this, and I'm not giving half my share to anybody.
Excitement as the thundering conflicts of a great action novel plunge him into one thrilling adventure after another, tracking the night looters who blast the main line, riding for revenge against the marauders who terrorize the West.
McQueen, and there's a price on my head. I'm up here on one of the highest peaks in the Colorado Territory, the City of the Moon, a ghost city just hanging in space above the wilderness, with no way to get out except one. And 50 men betting their lives I can't make it.
Come on down!
Yeah, somebody's always been trying to get me. But where did it all begin? Where does it end? What really brought me here? Was it the lure of the gold that rode the rails of the Denver and Rio Grande? Heist them! Now jump! Jump! Was it Julie who put a price on her heart? Or Colorado, who was all woman?
Hold me, Wes.
It won't work. I've got plans. There's no room in them for you, not for the long pull. Was it Reno or Blake who tried to double-cross me? You slapped her around.
She had it coming to her.
Stinking rats.
You won't be sorry, Wes. I'll make you love me. I knew what I wanted.
Wes McQueen, you don't aim very high. Just keep looking in the mirror. You'll see a coyote that just done himself out of 50,000.